Hi my loves, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Favor here. If today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, thank you so much for stopping by. On this YouTube channel, we learn how to turn void materials into a beautiful piece like the one you're seeing here. So for today my loves, we are going to be learning how to cut and sew this flay top with an halter neck and a strap. Now if this sounds like a tutorial that you are interested in, without wasting much of your time, let's head to the tutorial proper. So for today's tutorial, this is the fabric we are going to be making use of today, and I have this to be 1.10 inches. Okay, so if you're on a plus size, you can either use a 1.5 yard or you can use 2 yards, but 1.5 yards should be perfect for any body size. And for the strap, we are going to be making use of this adjustable bra hook that I removed from a bra that I'm no longer wearing. So this is what we're going to be making use of because it has to be adjustable. So I'll go ahead and keep this aside so that we will fold our fabric. First of all, I've gone ahead to identify the wrong side of my fabric. All right, now we are going to fold. So I'm going to place it, you see this place that they usually have a name print on the fabric. You pick the two together just like this and merge it equally. After you've arranged it equally, make sure it's like this. The next thing we're going to do is that we'll go ahead and fold it up again. Now we have folded it into 4 pieces. Now this is exactly how you fold your fabric for your 360-degree flay or whatever peplon you are cutting. This is how we fold. All right, and when you fold it like this, your fabric will be enough if you're using 1.5 yard. Okay, and now when you have finished folding, make sure that this point here is the side facing you directly. I hope you take note of that. Now the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to come from this point where my hand is and get the length of our circle. Now when I checked mine, the length gave me 23 inches. So imagine if your fabric is up to 1.5, it's going to give you more than that. Okay, now still leaving my tape where it is, we're going to go ahead and get a round flay, just like how you get your round flay for your hair bonnet. This is how you will get the circle. Okay, so I will get the circle to the full length. Please, you're paying attention that my tape is still at the beginning of my fabric. Now after that, the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting it out, this is what you're supposed to have at this stage. So this here is for the front and the back. So when I open it up, you can see here, and then this other part there's no joining. So the next thing we're going to do right now is impute our round chest circumference. Now this particular blouse we are cutting is an off shoulder, and you know the standard for cutting your off shoulder is 6 inches, but for me I am going to be using 5 inches. So at this point here, I'll come down here and then I'll mark 5 inches here, and then to this other point where my hand is, and I'll take it to this other side here, and then I will also mark 5 inches. Now I'll use that 5 inches and take it round. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you are good to go. Okay, so after taking it round, marking it here, the next thing we are going to do is that we're going to go ahead and connect the dotted lines just like this to give us a circle. So this circle we are getting is what we are going to be using as our round chest. That is where the blouse is going to start. Remember, it's an off shoulder, and to get your chest measurements, you can see that displayed on the screen. Now when I took my round chest measurement, it gave me 34 inches. Now when I checked the circle here, it gave me 8.5 into 4 gave me exactly 34 inches, which is my round chest measurement. So you want to divide yours and make sure the circle you will get will give you exactly what your round chest measurement will give you. I hope we understand. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you're good to go. Now remember that this particular fabric is for the front and the back. So you see where I'm doing here. At this point, I will go ahead now and divide it into 2, just so that we can have a separate pieces for the front and a separate one for the back. Okay, After separating the pieces, we are going to go ahead and use this front one to identify for the back part, just here like this. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you're good to go. Remember that we said to this off shoulder I'm going to be making use of 5 inches, and that is the 5 inches we used to get the circle at the front. So I'll come here, mark the same 5 inches, and then take it round, just like what we did for the front pattern. Okay, so I will go ahead and do this now. So the essence of this is so that when we are cutting, we know when to cut out or where to cut out from. So after marking it, I'll go ahead and cover it back. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you're good to go. Now the next thing we are going to do right now is to get the armhole curve. Remember that when we marked this circle around here gave us our round chest divided by 4. All right, now from this point here you can see that it's 5 inches that it stops here. So we are also meant to get that same chest line divided by 4 to give us our armhole here. I really hope that this is very understandable. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you're good to go. So from that point I will mark 8.5 inches, which is our round chest measurement divided by 4. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and get the neck wideness for our front pieces. So from this our center front here where my hand is, I will come in and mark 4 inches. So you can decide your own to be 3 inches or 5 inches. All I'm doing here, the essence of this is for us to know where we are connecting our armhole to. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and connect it to that 4 inches that we came in. So this here is now going to be serving as our armhole depth. I hope you understand. Now for this blouse we are cutting, we know that is an halter neck, and that means it's going to be up where it's going to be high at the center. So I'll go ahead and label this the front so that we don't get confused at any point. So from this center front here, this particular center front, I will come in. Remember we came in by 4 inches. Okay, now from this point here, now I will come up by 2 inches so that we can achieve our high halter neck there. Okay, so from there I'll come up by 2 inches, and then I'll connect it to that 4 inches that we extended where our armhole is going to start from. So this is it. All right, now the next thing we are going to do is that we will separate the front one and the back one just like this. Please pay attention. You see it, I've raised it up. I am not cutting it together. So we'll go ahead and cut out the front one first, and then we'll cut out the back one as well. So my loves, after cutting it out, this is what we have. So we'll go ahead and label this our back as well. Okay, so we now have both the front and the back here. Okay, now for us to achieve that high and low effect on this blouse, you can see that the front one is higher and then the back one is low. So this point here is where we are going to be joining the 2 pieces together. That is where our armhole curve is going to be. Now we're going to go ahead and drag it up to make sure they are equal at this point. Remember that we did not cut out an armhole curve for the back, so when we remove that armhole effect at the front, automatically makes the front one to be longer than the back one. So for us to be able to make sure that the back is lower and then the front has that long effect, we'll come here and mark it together after joining the 2 mouths together at this point. So I will come here, this is the front one, that place we mark our 2 inches. I'll come to the center front and give it a notch so that we know where we are going to be having our cross neck effect on. Okay, so I'll keep the front one aside. Now for this back one, I am going to go ahead and fold it together. Okay, and fold it together like this, and this is what we have. Now I'll come here and get the middle of the flay at this point here. So we'll go ahead and open it up again. Now remember that we marked these points where after joining the 2 front and the side front together. So from that center that we marked that we got, we'll go ahead and connect it to meet that measurement we got for the front. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you're good to go. So go ahead and trim it out. Okay, you see that it's just one side that we're trimming out. Please take note, not from the center front. So by the time we join these two together now, that is the two sides where we're going to be seaming up, where we're going to be closing up together. I can see that they are now equal at this point. Okay, so you can see now that this is not giving us that high and low effect. So I'll go ahead and trim it up to make sure that they are equal at that point. So you can see this now, that the front and the back, they are no longer equal. So we'll go ahead and work on the back pattern. Now for our own back pattern, we are going to decide where our strap is going to be placed on. That is the rope at the back, our sleeve length at the back. So for me, I'll come in by 3.5 inches. I used 3.5 because at the end of the day I used 4 and I noticed that it was too big, so I reduced it to 3.5. Now this is the pieces or the strap we are going to be attaching on our blouse, and this one is what we're going to be using to be achieving the adjustable effects. And for the length of our strap, I have it to be 30 inches long for this long one here, and then these pieces here I have it to be 2 inches long. Okay, so I'll go ahead and keep these pieces aside so that we can work on the back pattern first. So I'll bring my back pieces, all right, and then we're going to go ahead and work on it. Now remember that I gave the notch, where we gave the notch for our pieces, and then I've gone ahead to identify the wrong side of the fabric. Now these 2 inches, this is how I achieve my strap. I cut a 2 inches wide. The wideness of these pieces is 2 inches. Okay, now this is 2 inches wide. What I did is that I use an iron, fold in half an inch at this edge, fold in another half an inch, and then merge it together like this. That is how you achieve this particular strap. Okay, now we're going to take this part of our bra hook hand and then pass that 2 inches in between like this. Can you see what I'm doing? Just pay attention and you're good to go. So go ahead and fold it like this. Make sure that it's at the center of your 2-inch strap. Trim any excess you feel that your strap might have. So I trimmed that the excess on my own. Now remember that on fold we marked 3.5 inches to get where our strap is going to be placed for the back. So at that inch here where we notch, I will go ahead and place this one just like this. Make sure it is lapping on the front side of your fabric. Please take note. Okay, now what I will do is that I will go ahead and pin it down. Okay, so after pinning it down like this simply means that we are going to be sewing on it automatically. That is, if you have been following tutorials on our channel, you know how we do it. Okay, so this is how it's going to be up when we sew on it. So do the same thing for the other side. Pass it in between the first hook of your bra that is usually at the back. Okay, fold it into two. Make sure that they are equal with the first one. Like, make sure that the two are equal, just like this. If there's any excess, you trim out. Okay, just like what I am doing here. Exactly what we did. Pin it to the other side. Now this other side of the notch where we have, and then we'll pin it together. Okay, so my loves, after pinning it, we are going to use a pieces of our fabric and then sew on it on the right side first, just the way we turn our bias. Sew on the right side of your fabric first. Now after sewing it, following the direction of my hand, I will bring it back for us to see what it looks like. All right, so my loves, I've gone ahead to sew on the right side of the fabric, and then this is what we have. So if you have any excess, trim it out, then you flip it over to the wrong side like this, just the way we turn our bias on our clothes. So fold it in like this and then close it up and run a stitch on top of it. From this point, following the direction of my hand, you can see the way I'm folding it in. Fold it and then go ahead and stitch on it. So I'll go ahead, do this round to the full length of this blouse, and then I'll bring it back. So my loves, I've gone ahead to sew on it, and then this is what we have. You can see how neat it is. Okay, so this is what you're supposed to have. Now this is the right side of our fabric. Can you see? This is the right side of our blouse, and then this is the wrong side folded in. Now that is basically it. So the next thing we are going to do right now is to go ahead and work on the front pieces of our blouse. So my loves, for this our front pieces, we want to pay attention to it. So you can see that 2 inches, the effect of that 2 inches that we came up at the center of our blouse to give us that halter effect. You can see how it's looking. Now this strap that we cut is what we are going to be using for the front pieces. Just like what I explained on how I achieved the strap before, that is how I did this long one as well. So starting from this point here, you will go ahead and open up the strap and then fix in your blouse just like this. You can see what I'm doing here. Just pay attention to what I'm doing, follow exactly what I'm doing, and you're good to go. So what we will do is that I will pin it down here at this point. Okay, so when we pin it up, you will just carefully open up your strap and impute your blouse just like this. You see what I'm doing here, and then you close it up just like this. Okay, so by the time you get to the center of our front, you remember we gave it a notch. It will automatically be able for you to separate it up. You can see this. Can you see it? Now when you stop here, you do the same thing for the other side, but before that, let us just pin it down here so that we'll have a perfect idea of what we are supposed to do. Please do not forget you're running a stitch on it. Now just like what we did for the other side, we'll pick up the strap, open it up like this, and impute our blouse starting from where our armhole started from. Okay, and then close it up just like this. You see what I'm doing? So when you get to this point here, when you get to the center front, it will automatically give you a cross effect at the center just like this. Just trust the process and you're good to go. So all you have to do is that when you get to this point, you go ahead and close up your strap, and then at this point, so on top of this cross strap, please take note, and then you go ahead and close it up. So I'll go ahead, do it, and bring it back. So my loves, I have gone ahead to attach our strap, and this is what we have. You can see the crisscross effect at this point. This is what we have, and this is it. Okay, all right, and then I went ahead to close up the other strap as well. Now what we are going to do right now is to go ahead and close up the front and the back. So now using the strap, we're going to go ahead and use the hook. So pay attention to this part. Put it in first and then pass it in again just like this. Now to attach it to the back, you see the way I turned it? See this? Turn it like this and then pass it to that other buckle that we used to attach at the back just like this. Just pay attention to what I'm doing here and you're good to go. Now when you have successfully passed it in, you see this point, this other one, just drag it up inside like this and then use the other remaining edge and pass it inside just like this. So just pay attention to what I'm doing. You will automatically grab how to do this. It's really easy, or you can follow the direction of your bra. If you at any point you're confused, just follow the direction of the strap on your bra hook and you will be able to get it. So after attaching it, this mouth here, you want to make sure you fold it in and run a stitch on top of it. Please make sure you're not running a stitch on the two pieces. Open it up like this. Okay, make sure it is separated like this. You see the way it is. Okay, and then you run a stitch on only this one just like this. Okay, so after achieving your strap, the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead and put the two armholes together like this, the two sides where we have that opening, and go ahead and either use 1 inch or half of an inch or your desired measurement that you want to use to close it up. So I'll go ahead, close it up, and I will fold the edges as well, and then I'll bring it back. So my loves, I've gone ahead to attach the strap, sew it, and then close up our blouse, and this is what we have. And yeah, that's basically it for today's tutorial. If you watch this tutorial to this point, please do not forget to click on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified on my next tutorial. Please help me to share my video, and most importantly, please do not forget to go green. Do not litter your pieces, dispose it properly so that it will not be harmful to the ecosystem. Okay, so this is the adjustable bra, and That's basically it. You can adjust it to any size you want and you're good to go. Mind you, this particular blouse, I'm a size 10, can also go for someone who is size 12 or size 14. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, my loves. Do not forget to like, click on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and please do not forget to help me share my video. I will be seeing you guys on our next one. Bye for now.